有没有第一次？原来都是老朋友吗？我看见妙莲，妙莲，嗨，你好，好久不见，欢迎欢迎。好的，我也是好久没有跟大家见面了，很高兴今天能够在今天的活动当中开始今天的活动。My name is 伸展廖，I'm in charge of education at China Institute in America and the head of the School of Chinese Studies at China Institute. 欢迎，welcome to our. Today is the third session of this season, Lunch and Learn, led by Professor Li Mingjie from East China Normal University. I know I've been following every session. I've been so-called 潜水, sort of like submerged, but we're following the series. Well, thank you so much for all of you continuing or for the first time joining Lunch and Learn. This is this monthly online series that we share with Chinese culture and language enthusiasts, and especially with the guidance of expert or scholar like Professor Li. As usual, today we will start with reading a poem, which I know we have previously learned many sessions ago. It's related to the season of fall. 跟我们现在的秋天可能比较接近, but wow, the weather in New York is a little bit too warm. I don't complain, but I'm a little concerned. I will ask Chen Xi, who's a graduate student from East China Normal University, interning at China Institute this season, will take the lead to the read aloud session. We can follow her to read the poem together very briefly, and then Professor Li will take over the screen for today's Lunch and Learn, focusing on 清明节. All right, Chen Xi, I will turn it to
Hello.
you.
I will share my screen first. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Chen Xi, and I'm honored to be here with you today. At the beginning, I'd like to share a beautiful 词 poem by the renowned Chinese poet Li Yu. The title of the poem is 望江南, which is a classic piece expressing deep emotions. And I will read this poem for 3 times. The first time I will read the whole poem so you can hear the flow and rhythm. In the second time, I will go line by line, and I invite you all to read loudly with me. Finally, in the third reading, I will read it through again as a whole. If any of you feel inspired to join in during the third reading, please do not hesitate to do so. Okay, now let's begin. 望江南，衔梦远，南国正清秋。千里江山寒色远，芦花深处泊孤舟。敌在月明楼。Okay, the second time I invite you to read with me and line by line. You can open your microphone to read with me. 望江南，衔梦远。You can open your microphone to read with me line by line. 南国正清秋，
南
南
国
国正清秋，
千里江山寒色远。
千
千
里
里江山寒士远，
芦花深处泊孤舟。
芦
芦花深处泊孤舟。
敌在月明楼。
离在月明楼。
Yeah, very good. Okay, so last time I will read the whole poem again. And if you want to read with me, please do not hesitate to open your microphone and read with me. 望江南，衔梦远，南国正清秋，千里
千里
山
江山，
寒色远，芦花深
芦花深
处
处
泊
泊
孤舟。
孤舟。
孤舟，
敌在
在
月明
月
楼。
明楼。
月明楼。
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, and I hope you're enjoying this poem. And next, I will stop my screen share and Mingjie 老师 will introduce the Qingming Festival with you. Hope you enjoy.
Okay. Here you go. Can you see my PowerPoint?
可以的。
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's begin. Okay. Here you go. Hello, everyone. I am Mingjie Li. Very honored to be invited by China Institute holding the Lunch and Learn Autumn 2024. And we have already chosen the traditionally Chinese folk festival as the series thing. So last month, we discussed the Dragon Boat Festival. Officially, propaganda promotes it's like a festival to commemorate the patriot Qu Yuan, but its basis is actually a ritual of memorialization the dead by fishermen living on the water and the mobilization of the community to prevent epidemic and pests in the summer. So after last month, what we discussed, I think everybody can get this key point and some keywords. Please read after me some keywords. Let's go over a little bit. 端午节，
端午节，
屈原，
屈原，
龙舟，
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 粽子。
粽子。
Let's go again. 端午节，
端午节，
屈原，
屈
屈原，
原，
龙舟，
龙舟，
粽子。
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 Yeah, very good. So after last time's lecture, I have received some email transferred from China Institute, and like Dr. Maria Wang, Glenstein. Are you here today? Hi. Are you here today, Maria? Maria Wang, Dr. Maria Wang, I have replied your email. I don't know if you get it or no. And I also get an email from Miss Karen Morency. Are you here today? Hi, Miss Karen. Karen Morency, are you here?
我在。
你在。Hi,
你好。
Karen. Hi, Karen. I received your email. Yeah, it's thank you for encouraging. And you asked me one question. I think that question very interesting. I want to apply you here. So you said, I also learned that if you collect water from a well around noon time, you mean during the Dragon Boat Festival, it's a time when yang energy peaks whole year, and you can store the water around your house to raise its energies. Any more on that? I've not heard how long the water is effective. That's your question. Wow, very interesting question. How can I say? Yeah, people believe at the Dragon Boat Festival that time, the double fifth day, the yang peaks whole year. That's true. But I haven't heard something like you stone the water from the well at the noon time. but something similar. Let me show you a photo. I put a photo at the right. Can you recognize who it is? Yeah, it's me, 21 years ago, when I was in Hong Kong at Dragon Boat Festival that day, in the noontime. Because now I works and lives in Shanghai, besides the Yangtze River, not the Zhujiang River. So I didn't know there was such a customer in the south, really south, like Zhujiang area, until I was walking in Hong Kong in 2003. So my students said, "Hi, Professor Li, you have to go to Chizhu at the noontime to take a holy dip in the water, blessed by the dragon. Then you can have good luck whole year." So I think, and then I asked them, so really it's very popular. I say, you have to do that. It's more important than to have a rice dumpling. It's more important than to have a 粽子. That's the first thing you have to do during the Dragon Festival, is to take a holy dip in water blessed by the dragon. In Chinese, they called 洗龙水.
洗龙水.
洗龙水, 洗 is take a bath, or dip. 洗, wash your hand. 洗龙水, the water blessed by the dragon. So that's really has this. So like Hong Kong, Guangdong province, especially like in the Hainan Island, this is the very important customer during the Dragon Boat Festival. So thank you to imply me this point out. So thank you so much.
谢谢。
Yeah, thank you, Karen. And you can ask me questions. You can write me email directly, or you can let China Institute password your questions. I would love to answer. So I still remember last time at the end, there was 2 questions. The first, somebody asked me why it's called Duanwu. I applied it, but I guess maybe some not so clear. So I would like add a little bit. So Duanwu, Duan means beginning. So like we say 开端, 头端. Duan means beginning of something, top of something, or the end of something, the top, beginning, head of something. So wu, what is wu? Wu, this character come from the earthly branches. Earthly branches in Chinese we call 地支. 地支 is 12 characters. They are 子丑寅卯寅巳子丑寅卯辰巳午未申酉戌亥. These 12 characters. You can regard these 12 characters like a dozen numbers. Earthly branches are symbols used in ancient China to calculate time or to indicate order. These 12 characters are also used to mark months. And the 5th month of Chinese lunar solar calendar is the Wu Yue, the month Wu. So I use the red character here to show it. So you can see here, 子丑寅卯辰巳午未申酉戌亥. That is the 12 地支, earthly branches. So we use them to calculate the time. So the 5th month of the lunar solar calendar is 五月. So the beginning of 五月 means 端午. That's the name how it counts. And I remember somebody also asked me about the 5-colored rope, 5-colored rope, and I have already said which 5 colors they are, but I would like to add a little bit about why. So we understand the 5 colors. The 5 colors, in fact, is linked to the 5 agents. 5 agents in Chinese we call 五行. 五行. 五行, what are these 五行? So the 五行 are water, wood, fire, earth, metal. So they are not only the basic elements that makes up the world, but traditionally Chinese philosophy also believe that the natural transformation of these 5 elements is the fundamental reason of the generation of all phenomena in the world. So their mental transformation make whole the world. So you can see they will think the blue represents the wood, or blue is also called, could be green, because qing, this character, the color qing, refers to the color of the sky or the sea. So when it's the sky, it's blue. When it's the sea, depends on the weather. It could be blue, could be gray, could be green. So the blue represents the wood and also the east. So the red, south, fire, come on. So this 5 wu xing represents these 5 agents. So the 5 colored rope gathers all the energy, including energy from all directions and energy from various elements. So it is very powerful and invisible. That's why the parents would like their kids, the children, to have these 5 colored ropes on their arm. So you still remember Mr. Xiaoqiang, Lin Yongqiang, also said he had one when he was a child. Is there? So that's the reason why we have these 5 colors, what these 5 colors represents for. Okay. Maybe some of you are new here. So today is the 3rd lecture of this series on Chinese folk festivals. We are already talked about the Dragon Boat festivals, Mid-Autumn festivals. If you miss them, you could watch the videos on the YouTube. I think you can get an email from the China Institute. I guess you should have discovered that understanding these festivals is very helpful in understanding China's custom, history, culture, and geography, isn't it? So let's go to today's topic. We are going to talk about the Qingming Festival. So as we already told many times before, the most celebrated Chinese folk holidays are based upon the Chinese lunar solar calendar, which we call Nongli or Yingli. Since the traditionally Chinese calendar is called Nongli or Yingli, so many people mistake it for lunar calendar, but it is actually a lunar solar calendar. For example, Qingming Festival is based on the 24 solar terms, 24节气, 24节气, solar term. So please read after me, 节气,
节气
solar term, 节气, which are divided a year according to the position of the sun. So I draw a picture here for you to understand it. So this is the beginning of the first solar term, 立春, the first one. Second, 雨水. Third, 惊蛰. The fourth, 春分. Then the fifth is Qingming. Qingming is the name of the 5th solar term of the traditionally Chinese lunar solar calendar, which divided the year into 24 solar terms, as I said. So Qingming more often refers in particularly to the day when the sun is exactly at the celestial longitude of 15 degrees 15 degree. You see, 15 degree. Here is 15 degree. Usually on April the 4th to April the 7th. So why is called Qingming? Qingming, this name was recorded in the 岁时百问. That's a book. In this book, explained why this festival called Qingming. It says, 万物生长此时. Everything grows at this time. 皆清洁而明净, and they are all clean and bright. 清明而清洁而明净, clean and bright. 故谓之清明, so it called 清明. So you can understand that 清明 means clean and bright, or clean brightness, clean brightness. So it is called 清明. So here is the basic knowledge about this festival. So 清明节. So when the 5th solar term of the Chinese lunar calendar. So next year, 2025, it could be April the 4th. So what it is, it's a festival to worship ancestors and celebrate the arrival of spring. So that's it. 清明. So what's the ritual? I will tell the ritual first, then I will explain why it in this way. So I use a cartoon to explain it. You can see it. I like to use a little bit cartoon to make it clear. So what you can see on it? Could you tell me what you can see on it? So what's draw your eye? So there was a tea, is that right? A big teapot, have you seen? It's a big teapot and some eggs, cakes, the cake, kids playing cakes, and something steam, and somebody born there, and then there were essence. Is that right? And the most important, you have seen one kind of flower. What kind of flower it is?
菊花.
菊花, yeah. How to say it in English?
Chrysanthemums.
Yeah, chrysanthemum. So big chrysanthemum there. Chrysanthemum is a signal of morning in China. So that already tells us what Qingming, the purpose to do. Okay, let's go on. Let's explain it. So Qingming Jie has another name of 扫墓节. 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 So why is it called 扫墓节? 扫墓 means tomb sweeping. Tomb sweeping literally means sweeping the graveyard, an annual ritual to keep the graveyard and its surrounding tidy and clean. So the ancestors of everybody, every family, on Qingming this day, they are honored and celebrated. So family tidy their ancestors' grave and make a special offering. So I use another cartoon here, 清明节. So what are they doing? So they are offering their ancestors. Offerings would typically include traditionally food dishes and the burning of Joe's stick, like incense and Joe's paper. Joe's paper is the money or other personal items for the dead to use. Maybe it's a little bit difficult for you to understand this part, but I will explain it later. And Qingming Festival is very important for every Chinese family. So, and has a very long history. So there were many ancient points describing Qingming Festival. So this time I will use 3 points to explain the customs of this festival. So this is the most famous one, written by Du Mu, Tang Dynasty. It is titled Qingming. So if you say 清明 to a Chinese guy, you only need to say these 2 words, 清明, and they will follow like 清明时节雨纷纷. That is everybody know. Everybody, really, I guarantee you. So this poem, what this poem say? So like he said, 清明时节雨纷纷. So it means it drills thick and fast under morning day. 清明时节雨纷纷. And the 路上行人, the person on the road, the mourner's heart is going to break on his way. 借问酒家何处有? One asked for a wine shop to join his sad hours. 牧童遥指杏花村. A cowboy points to the hamlet aimed apricot flowers. So this is a really beautiful poem for nostalgia. Such a beautiful poem of nostalgia. So I read it. So please just read after me, no matter you can recognize character or not. Okay, so this is the first. Even if you only can remember one point about 清明, that's it. So 清明时节雨纷纷.
清明时节雨纷纷，
路上行人欲断魂.
路上
路上行人欲断魂。
借问酒家何处有?
借问
问酒家
有
有
牧童遥指杏花村.
牧童遥
遥指
杏花
村。
So you see, this is a really beautiful poem of nostalgia. So he said, first he described the season. So in the early spring, what happened? Rain. The rain season begins. So why the people are heartbroken? Because in the Qingming festivals, everybody need to go back their hometown to worship their ancestors. So this makes them heartbroken. So that's the feeling. So in this case, he feels sad, so she wants to drink something. So he asks, okay, well, is the hamlet? Well, is any place have a hamlet? Why he doesn't know? Because he is on the way to home. He is not in his hometown. So he didn't know. He don't know. He doesn't know. Well, have a bar because you are on the way home. They're on the way because you need to go back to your hometown. And so the cowboy said, oh, that was a bar. So that was a apricot flower. Apricot flowers blooms in the early spring. So that also tells you the season when. It's in the early spring in April. In April. So that is a really good point to tell everything about the season, about the mood, about the culture, about the customer. So everyone, no matter how far you are, you should go back home. Of course, many people cannot make it, but you should. Yeah. So this is the Du Mu's point to describe the Qingming festival. And now I explained a little bit. So in China, we need to understand why in Qingming festival, every Chinese need to go back to their hometown and to worship their ancestor and go to the graveyard of their ancestors. So because in China, the dead are very much alive, very much alive. So the living miss their loved ones and really treat them as they are alive. So they were worrying whether they have money to use and they have clothes to wear in heaven. So therefore, we will make money and clothes, of course, fake, not real. We'll make money and clothes out of paper and burn them during the worship. And when the smoke, you burn the paper, money paper, or the paper clothes, when the smoke flows up, so we believe the ancestor spirit can receive them, can receive this money, can receive these clothes. So the family, so the dad play a very powerful but friendly role in helping to guide the destinies of the living, and the family hope to win their favor. So here I show a painting. This is a painting. So we know this painting called Chinese Ancestor Portrait was now collected in the Royal Ontario Museum in Canada. They had a very good big exhibition about this kind of collection, which titles this exhibition titled "Gods in My Family." So we know the photography technology was introduced to China in the late Qing Dynasty. In the late Qing Dynasty, that means it's the beginning of 20th century. The photography technology was in China. But before that, we have no photos. So how to do? So the rich people will hire an artisan to draw a painting of their ancestor portrait like this. So this is an ancestor portrait. We should understand that they cost their fortune to paint this kind of painting, but many families will do it. So Chinese ancestor portrait was not only for decoration, not only to hand that for decoration. Now, I also could put in the big room, the dining room, but playing an important role in ritual, especially play an important role in the ritual to commemorate and commune with their owner's ancestors. So you can find these all kinds of ancient portraits in this catalog. They have published a catalog named Gods in My Family. So I show you a picture which I took in New York City. This is a Chinese supermarket in New York City, and they sell what is called the paper money. Can you see that? You cannot use it. Okay, you can buy it, but it's only, it's only in special offering. So you can see what's their copy. The first guy, you should know who he is. Franklin, you see that?
Ah, yes.
That's his copy of dollars. And then the middle is copy the renminbi. And the other one is copy for the Hong Kong dollars. Can you see that? But instead of Chairman Mao's portrait on it, they use the Jade Emperor, 玉皇大帝. You can see that. So that's really, really interesting. And it also tells us the religion is still alive. This kind of religion, this kind of worship, this kind of ritual is still alive in Chinese personal life. So I show you some other interesting thing. So here is two woodcut print collected by my friend. They allowed me to use their pictures. So you see at the left and the right, left is from Suzhou, Jiangsu province. This is a family tree print. So I write it in a full the blank version. So what that means? So you can see the left, that's what we used in the Qingming festival when you make that worship for ancestor. So the people, for the educated family, who can write their ancestors' names. So then you filling their names. So your parents' name, so it's a big family. The family name, grandfather's name, grandfather's name, and at the top is the family name. The top is the family name. So it's go on, go on, go on. And then this is, they show how they worship. You see, they have candles, they have all kinds of gods. This is the gods I have mentioned in the last two lectures. So you can see the gods of the wealthy and the gods of the kids. So, and they're filling their names here, ancestors' name here. But also, there were some families who cannot write their ancestors' name. That doesn't mean they don't know, they just cannot write. So how about this kind of family, or we call poor family? So they buy the right size, that version. So this version is a universal version. So this print come from Shandong or Henan. They're all very popular in this province, titled 报本堂. So what they write here, 三代宗亲, 3 generations of relatives. And here, 亡灵之位, the place of the dead, the place of the dead. So they hang on this paper god, and then they're facing them bound, and put all the sacrifice dishes on it. And that's they do in the Qingming festival. So maybe you will say, oh my, that's a very sad festival. Not really. This is a solemn day, but not sorrowful or even a joyous one. So it's because it's forced a time when the air is light and pure, and the trees have sprouted tender buds, and the flowers are just beginning to bloom. So once the ancestors' graves has been swept, the weeds pulls from around them, and the family's name repainted with red paints or even gold leaf. The families light candles and incense and bend paper money to order the dead. So after that, they hefty plates of eggs, ducks, and fruits, and bottles of wine and tea are placed on the graves as further offering. But after the ceremonies like that are over, everyone feasts on the delicacies and drinks their fill. The rest of the day is spent playing games. One of the popular activity is kite flying. Often, once a kite is soaring high overhead, its string is cut. The kite then flies away, carrying bad luck and evil forces away from it. So that's, I put 3 cartoons here. What's the popular activities during the Qingming festival after all the ceremony are over? So swimming, hiking, kite flying, and picnic. So something we can understand, swimming because it's not that cold, and then you can do some outing activities, and hiking because usually that's the one thing quite different is in China, the tombs usually not in the city. It's usually in the countryside. So if you need to go to the tomb yard, you have to go to countryside. It's far away. So by the way, we do a hiking. And you hiking that's far away from home, so you have picnic, you have cold food. Is that right? And now, so I show you another 词. In fact, this is a 词 poem. So which was written by Ming Dynasty, Wang Pan. So you can see the time. The first one is 杜牧. What's the time? Yeah, And this is the Ming Dynasty. You can see it's continued. This custom is continued. This cultural heritage is continued. So what he wrote 清明日出游. So go outing in Qingming that day. The excursion on Qingming Day. So in the topic, they have the Qingming. You can see the word Qingming. Excursion on Qingming Day. So what he wrote, he said, 问西楼禁烟何处好? So West Tower, he looked at the tower west and say, I asked, so where to play on Cold Food Festival? 问西楼禁烟何处好? Then you see this another name shows up. Cold Food Festival. Cold Food Festival. Why the title is Qingming Festival? And inside he wrote the Cold Jingyan Cold Food Festival. So he said, okay, so fine day, so fine today, land dance green, have it on your way. So through willows, my horses neighs, a mad smile leaning on a swim. So people play swim. And twittering orioles fell flowers or tranquil spring. So in this 词 point, he described what? It described what? Okay, that day is a fine day. People go out. They ride horses to go out, to go countryside. And the people playing the swim and all the flowers, the birds. So it shows the happiness of the spring. And everybody was so happy and drank in the spring. That's what he explained. So here, first, before further, let's read it. Read it after me. 问西楼
温西楼
禁烟何处好？
何处好？
绿野晴天道。
景天道。
绿野晴天照。
马穿杨柳丝。
马
穿杨柳
丝。
丝。
人以秋千笑。
人
人
以
以秋千笑。
看樱花。
看
看樱花。
总叫春醉倒。
总叫
春醉倒。
Yeah, it's a very active point. So 问西楼 ask 西楼 So the cold food day, where to go? 何处好? So you go out. 绿野 the green yard, okay? And the fine day, you go on your way. You know. So my horse, so go through the willows, and the people living on the swam and smile. So the birds, the orioles, and the flowers, and make me drunk. So that's I just literally one word by one word, so without grammar. So it's a really happiness time. So like I said, it's a solemn day, but it's somehow also a joyous day. So 问西楼禁烟何处好？绿野晴天道。马穿杨柳丝，人以秋千笑。看樱花，总叫春醉倒。So how happy a day, is that right? How happy a day. So, but there was shows us a question. So as I said, in the title, there was say Qingming, but why inside they said Cold Food Festival, Cold Food Festival. So the Cold Food Festival, in fact, Cold Food Festival is a festival has longer history than Qingming Festival. So the Cold Food Festival is the day before Qingming Festival and was later combined with Qingming Festival. So in fact, Qingming Festival is a combination of two festivals. This is a knowledge point we should know. So Qingming Festival, in fact, is a combination of two festivals. One is Qingming Festival, the other is Cold Food Festival. So what is the Cold Food Festival? So you will say, okay, you go to picnic, so you have to eat some cold food. That is not the reason. That is not the reason. It seems like a reason, but that is not the reason. So cold foods festival in Chinese called 寒食节，寒冷 cold， 食品 so 寒食节 so please read on me 寒食节
寒食
寒
节
食节
yeah 寒食节 so I show you a photo as the left before. This is a photo taken in as the route of Mount Mian at the Jieshiu city in the Shanxi province. So this is in the Shanxi 省介休市绵山 as the root of that mountain. They have this statue. So this statue, there was two people. You see that? Is that right? So at the right, there is a people whose name is 介之推. I use the red show up, 介之推. So you can see how long ago. When he was born, we don't know, but when he was died, could be the 636 BC. So that means more than 2,500 years ago. Is that right? This is a historical figure. We do have these people. It's a historical figure whose name is Jie Zhitui. And beside him, that's his mother. So what this statue tells us, so there was a legend. The legend has it that the Cold Food Festival is to commemorate Jie Zhitui. So during the spring and autumn period, 春秋, spring and autumn period, that is 2,500 years ago. So Jie Zhitui, during the spring and autumn period, Prince Chong'er, there was a person, also real historical figure, Chong'er. Chong'er is the Prince Chong'er of Jing. Later, his title is Duke Wen of Jing, Jing Wen Gong, Duke Wen of Jing. So during the spring and autumn period, Prince Chong'er left Jing and went to exile for 19 years. Once Chong'er fainted from hunger, and Jie Zhitui cut off his own thigh and roasted it for him to eat, saving his life. Chong'er was very moved when he found out. Later, Chong'er returned to Jing and recalled these old days. At that time, he's already Duke Wen. So he wanted to reward Jing Zhitui, but Jing Zhitui had already gone to live in seclusion in Mianshan, in Mount Mian. That's this statue where it is, in Mianshan, which in Shanxi province with his mother. So Duke Wen of Jing, that is Chong'er before, Duke Wen of Jing sent people to search the mountain, but couldn't find him. His ministers set fire to the mountain, hoping to force Jing Zhitui out. But in the end, they found that Jing Zhitui and his mother were burned to death while hugging a tree. Chong'er was extremely sad, and he stipulated that no fire could be made at this time of the year, and everyone should eat cold food, which was called the Cold Food Festival to commemorate Jing Zhitui. So that's the legend. To be honest, when I was a child, I thought this is a horrible and grievous story. And now I can understand why the mainstream ideology likes it so much, so throughout history, because it is used to spread the culture's value of loyalty and filial piety. So, but as a scholar, I have to mention that, in fact, there is no historical document support this story. So, from my major as a culture anthropologist and as a folklore scholar, from my perspective, the ban on fire during the Cold Food Festival originated from the ancient people's system of drilling wood to make fire and exchanging new fire. So why I get this point. So we can also find a point here. So this point's name is Hanshi, Cold Food Festival, Hanshi, written by Tang Dynasty. You see, it's before Ming Dynasty. It's Tang Dynasty by Han Hong. So this is also a famous point. So 春城无处不废话. So now wherever in springtime, but willow down from the tree. So 春城无处不废话. That tells the season when the willow just show their show downs fall. So 寒食敦风玉柳霞. On cold food day, royal willows slant in east breeze. At dusk, the palace sent privileged candles red to the 5 loyalty maisons where wheels of smoke spread. So it tells they have this culture and a custom. As the Cold Food Festival, they exchange the new fire because people believe the new fire have new energy and have more power than the old fire. So every year they change a new fire by drilling the wood. Drilling the wood get a new fire. So the new fire will bring you new luck. So who did that first? The palace, the emperor. Emperor has the first new fire. Then go to their noblemen, and then to the common people. So that's an order from emperor to the noble to the lordly maisons, and then to the common people's life. So they change their own. So that tells us the where it really comes from. So until now, I have already told about the why these Qingming festivals and the Hanshi day comes. So let me make a conclusion here. So originally from the ancient beliefs and the witchcraft traditions, it gradually combines with the related folk customs that emerged in Shanxi province, Confucius loyalty and filial piety culture, and tomb sweeping customers, and gradually evolved into a formal national festival. So into the Fashion Post Festival. So now we would like to show you some seasoning food during the Qingming Festival. So China is a vast country, and the seasoning food for Qingming Festival are particularly rich. So, but the essence remains the same, which is to share the colors and taste the flavor of spring. So some is very popular no matter where you are in China. So like 春卷 or 茶叶蛋. Now 春卷, the spring roll are rolled appetizers or dim sum. The kind of the wrapper, filling, and cooking technique used, as well as the name, very considerately depends on the region cultures. So though they are generally filled with vegetables, because the vegetable spring comes, the vegetables comes. So, and then we have 茶叶蛋. It's very similar to here we call hard-boiled eggs. So like Easter, you have eggs. So the spring, you have eggs. So, and then Qingtuan is popular in South China, around the Suzhou, Shanghai, this kind of area. It's made of gluten, rice, mixed with Chinese magrote or barley grass. So that's the taste of the spring. And the very interesting things is in the North China, like in Shanxi, Shandong province, they were made something called 面宴. So 面宴 is swallow bumps. Is that cute? Swallow bumps. Swallow bumps recalls me the pips in the Eastern Day. Is that right? The same meaning. So they made, because the swallow come back. That's the season swallow come back. So like I just said, so all over the world, different cultures and different religions have their own ways to remember their dead. So, but everybody's feelings are similar. So when spring comes and everything comes back to life, so we miss our deceased relatives, and they are eternal in our thoughts. So I show you another 2 pictures quick. So at the end, we can figure out that Qingming Festival is the Memorial Day in China. Memorial Day in China. So it's a festival for worshipping or direct ancestors. And it also has ceremonies to commemorate other deceased people. For example, in these 2 cities, Jiangsu Xinhua and Jiangsu Jiangyan, so the memorial rally on the water are very famous. So legend has it that is to commemorate the fallen on-road soldiers led by the army general Yue Fei in the Southern Song Dynasty. Now the Chinese government also used this festival to hold ceremonies to commemorate the fallen soldiers, which is also a use for this tradition. So we can see that, so Memorial Day in China, the most important is worship our direct ancestor, but also the fallen in the war and the homeless ghost without following. So let's make the conclusion here. So here is a mural in the Wogaoku on the Silk Road, Gansu province. It describes in the Tang Dynasty, people go out for spring hiking, celebrate Qingming Festival. So it tells us it's really Qingming festivals originated from the ancestors' worship and spring sacrifice customs in the ancient time. It has both natural and humanistic connotations. In its more than 2,500 years history, its customs has not changed much. They have 3 foundational concepts: honoring the deceased, worship family ancestors, express gratitude, and anticipation for spring. Okay, that's for today. That's what I want to share today. Thank you so much. And the next time we will meet again at December the 13th for the biggest festival of Chinese, the Spring Festival. And looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
谢谢
也
谢谢李老师
谢谢
，Thank you so much.
Now need me to stop this. Okay, I stop this share. Okay.
Yeah.
So Miss Liao.
Yeah, well, I am just still immersed into the rich history and cultural values, and also while even just looking at so many different practices and cultural stuff, products, we would say, the food, the celebration and everything, but also something fundamentally connected to human nature and cross different cultures, that how we want to connect to the deceased, to connect to the ancestors. And even though in different cultures there are different ways to do it, but it's cross different different countries. Thank you so much. So just to quickly, next, as Professor Li mentioned, we will have the last Lunch and Learn for this season in December. Please do register, because for every session, you have to do the registration once again. But we look forward to see you all there. And if you have any questions, I can see some of you are typing in the chat box. I don't know. Well, we're already over 1 o'clock, but we will hanging around for a couple of more minutes. If you have any immediate questions to Professor Li or to us, please, raise your hand, open your mic or your camera, and we can all be here for a few more minutes. Professor Li, can we do that?
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
thank
Very
you.
welcome. I have seen you. I have seen Dr. Marian. I have seen Dr. Marian, the name on it. So hi.
我叫王妙莲。
王老师好，王老师好。I sent you an email. I reply your email. Have you received it?
哦，没看到，我应该查一下，对不起，我没回答。
It's okay. So I can password my email to Lin, Mr. Lin. Maybe he can help us to connect. So I answer your email already.
Thank you.
And Mr. Lin is very careful. He transfer every information to me. So let me know what the question, maybe have some questions. So I would love to answer.
Actually, my question is about the calligraphy.
Oh, okay.
你现在画出来那书法是
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Sometimes when I have free time, I just practice like a psychology exercise.
是你自己的字。
Yeah.
多谢。
And so, Miss Liao, maybe I can show another piece of my PowerPoint. Maybe I can conclude all the questions inside, maybe. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely. Please do so.
So let's see. I put, so I think many people will have a question about so how the Chinese people think about this kind of ancestor. So that's the big difference with the other kind of cultures. So first, I will introduce you this book. This book is an old book, but very, very good one, called Religion and Ritual in Chinese Society. This was Stanford University Press, 1974. So, and inside there is a paper written by author Arthur Wolf. Arthur Wolf wrote a paper called Gods, Ghost, and Ancestor. So he explains these two concepts in Chinese cultures, what they're different, what's the difference. So gods, ghosts, and ancestors, especially for the popular religion, not like a Christian, Catholics. It's a popular religion, not Fo and Tao. No, it's popular folk religion. So he said, Professor Wolf said, he do a field research in Taiwan as an anthropologist. And he said, all people worship the same gods just as they live under the same garment. But people do not all stand in the same relationship to the two other class of super natures, ghost and ancestor. Whether a particular spirit is viewed as a ghost or as an ancestor depends on the point of the view of the particular person. One person's ancestor is another man's ghost. The ancestor, though dead, is a person with rights and duties. The ghost, also dead, it's a person with neither rights or duties. The one is usually a kinsman. The other is always a stranger. I think this paragraph tells very clearly what's ghost and ancestor, what's the difference. So the ancestor is always a kinsman, and the ghost is always a stranger. That's what he said. So, and this is a book, Picking Paper Gods is a study I'm doing right now in these past seven years, which has the paper gods collection in the Columbia University, New York City. So here is the book, but this book is from the library, so has another cover. That's the original cover. So in this book, I will recommend these 3 sentences and then helps us to understand why the Qingming festivals is so important for Chinese. And now I read, this is from here, from this page, from the page 17. So this is Mrs. Anne Goodrich. Miss Anne Goodrich is the wife of the Professor Luther Carrington Goodrich, who is a very famous Chinese history professor in America, but he passed away. So Miss Anne Goodrich said, the Chinese were conscious that the problems of life were too great for human beings to solve by themselves. So they turned to the spirits, to the dead, who, having been human, would understand the problems, and being spirits, had supernatural power to help. They were conscious of the reality of spiritual, supernatural forces in all of everyday life that influence their own lives individually. Each people worshiped the God they thought would help them most. Belief in supernatural is one of the foundation of Chinese culture. Without belief in the continuation of life after death, resulting in ancestor worship, China would have developed a different society. Mm-hmm. So even if, in fact, Miss Anne Goodrich is not a scholar, she's only a missionary once, missionary in the 1930s. She is only the wife of the Luther Carrington Goodrich, but until now, I feel this paragraph tells the most clearly what is the ancestor worship really mean for Chinese and Chinese culture. So I think I quote these 2 paragraphs, I think maybe could answer most of the questions. Oh, thank you so much. So, Miss Liao.
Thank you, Professor Li. What your concluding slide reminds me to remind everyone, we actually, China Institute has a gallery exhibition on the bronzes coming up in spring 2025, talking about the worship to the ancestors, the bronzes, the rituals, and how that kind of value system particularly is developed and was developed from 1500 years ago. That's manifested and demonstrated in that exhibition. So I would encourage you, I know this is an online series, but when the exhibition is on early March to, I would say May, June, and that is going to be something particularly on point to today's topic. Thank you, Professor Li. So I would love to see everyone December 13th, 不见不散. And for those of you who are in New York, we have I know some of you are joining our calligraphy and music meetup. That's also a lovely practice in person, November 15th. It's a monthly program from 6 to 8. That's on Friday as well. It's next Friday. If you are in New York, welcome to join us. Many of you are our students. Don't forget the early bird registration for the fall season is upcoming, December 5th. We will be sending out those messages. Again, thank you for joining the program, for being our student, being a member, and being a participant. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. 谢谢大家，再见。
谢
Thank
谢，
you.
再见。
Thank you.
谢谢。
好，谢谢李老师。
不谢不谢，很高兴。
好，再见。
再见。
再见。